Guess we'll go ahead and get this started. First of all, I want to say thank you, and welcome. And thank you so much for coming out. First, each and every one of you are going to be what makes the difference in the next elections and in the years to come in the future. What I want you to do right now is just look to your left and right and introduce yourself, because we need to start building community in Douglas County and building community across the state and knowing each other. So go ahead and say hi.
Hello, I'm Bridget Parker.
How you doing?
Okay, hopefully everybody's had a chance to exchange names and exchange information too, and stay in touch and collaborate and cooperate, because that's what's going to make the difference. Like I said, I'm Isaac. I'm a retired Marine. I live up in Parker since June, and I'm a CU grad, and I've got 3 kids in the Douglas County school system, and I'm here at this town hall. And like I said a minute ago, I wanted to thank you all for coming out, because the subject of this CD4 Town Hall for Our Lives is probably one of the most controversial and one of the toughest subjects to address in the political atmosphere that we're in today. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you for your courage and for your willingness to come out and address this very controversial, tough subject, but very necessary conversation that we need to have. And I think that that's what we're all here for today, to have that necessary conversation about specifically the availability of firearms and ammunition in our society, and whether or not we need to keep it the way it is and rubber stamp the occurrences that have happened in our country over the past years, or if we want to change direction. And that's what this town hall is all about. So thank you all for coming, and I wanted to thank all of the organizers that put this event together. In less than about a week and a half, we turned nothing into a town hall. So thank you all.
I'd like to start. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'd like to start by saying that I'm honored to be standing here before you today, representing students from all across the district.
Put the mic up by your mouth.
Closer? Okay. I wish it had been under better circumstances. But my name is Katie Lee. I'm a 17-year-old high school student at Legend High School in Parker, and I'm a student organizer and representative for today's town hall. And I'd like to thank all the candidates for attending today and giving their time to talk about the issue of gun violence and the #NeverAgain movement. And I'd like to thank them. You can come take your seats if you'd like.
So at this time, candidates, you come on up front. Okay, really briefly, I think we're all Democrats mostly here, or at least we're reasonable independents or reasonable conservatives that want to make a positive difference in our civil discourse in society. And with that being said, I think that we just need to make sure and be courteous to each other. Some of the topics that we'll be talking about are emotionally charged, and we need to be courteous and keep level heads and have productive conversation roll the floor, and that's what we want here today. So just be civil to everybody and let logical discourse rule the floor. And Katie's going to go ahead and introduce the candidates. And
All right. So we have group. Julia Harmon. Alright. Dr. Chase Coney and Dr. Karen McCormick. Michael Huff, Elizabeth House. Simone Aiken, and then Trish O'Neill, who is exploring running for Senate in 2020.
And as we go through, the questions, when you answer your first question, candidates, can you just go ahead and let us know who you are, and then after that we can proceed with the questions. This is kind of our agenda, just so all of you guys know what's going on, and we know what's going on. It makes it easier. We got questions and guest speakers intermingled, and then at the end we got a section for student comments and our conclusion. And at this time we're going to go ahead and show a short video to kick off the town hall, and then we'll start into the questions. After we have our first speaker, Tom Mauser, speak.
Starting over.
Thank you all for coming this afternoon. My name is Tom Mauser, and I am the father of Daniel Mauser, who was one of the students killed at Columbine High School in 1999. I've been fighting for stronger gun laws ever since then. I'm very encouraged by what I see with this new movement. I've noticed that a number of you are from my generation, and as I said at the March for Our Lives event in downtown Denver a couple weeks ago, our generation has failed our young people. We have to show them the support and work with them to do something to change it. Because as I've heard some students say, we feel like we're going to be the mass murderer, the mass shooting generation. And they don't want to be that. And I think we have to do something to help them change that. I've been working on this issue for these past almost 19 years. Let me tell you, one of my basic philosophies, one of the most important things to me about this issue, I think people have to keep in mind, is that most Americans, the majority of Americans, support a right to bear arms. Maybe you don't, but the fact is, most Americans do support a right to bear arms. The reality also is that the majority of them also support the need for restrictions on those rights. Most Americans are in the middle of this issue. So why can't we see more progress then? You saw the figure up here, hopefully. It was on Fox News. 91% Americans supporting stronger background checks, universal background checks. And yet, we don't have such a law being passed, do we, America? Unbelievable. So where are you? Are you asking your representatives, especially the ones in Washington, if 91, some polls go as high as 97%. If 97% of people support something, why don't you?
Because the NRA spent $30 million.
I agree to a point, yes. We can say that the NRA is so strong we can't do anything. I refuse to be that fatalistic. We can do something about that.
Single issue.
We have to do something about it. And a part of it is because there are, as somebody said, a lot of single issue voters out there. Well, then some of us, more of us, have to become single issue voters too. Because until people lose their jobs about this issue, nothing will change. Once people lose their jobs, something will change. So one thing that I would like to especially promote right now in this sort of period is something called a red flag law. How many have heard of the red flag law? Great, a lot of you have. That's great. Red flag law, also known as an extreme risk protection order, ERPO. Red flag sounds easier to say. Under red flag law, a person who is, somebody from law enforcement or a family member can go before a judge and say, this person is a danger to themselves or others. We have evidence that this person is a danger to themselves or others. Here's the evidence. We think firearms should be removed from this person and they should not be able to purchase a firearm. The judge can then choose, make their judgment, whether to issue a temporary order, taking away their guns and prohibiting purchase. It's temporary until that person can prove that they're no longer a danger. You folks who live here in Douglas County saw the death of a deputy. That never should have happened. His mother took away his guns, and then he threatened to sue her if she didn't give them back. If we had had a red flag law, those guns could have been taken away if they could have shown. And it was clearly shown that he was a danger to others. But the police could do nothing about it. Let's give them the tools to do something about it. So right now, we are trying to get introduced a late bill in the legislature on a red flag law. And we need to win a number of leadership yeses to get it introduced as a late bill. One of your state senators here in Douglas County is one of those leaders. We need